There's a lot of fear in the market right now for previously popular sectors like EV and big tech. What are you doing? So here's my quick take on what's happening and if you should pull your money out or hold. I gotta film a video. My subscribers are waiting for me. So while it's heartbreaking to see one of my favorite ETFs, ARK, down 13% since Friday, and Tesla down 21% throughout the whole month of February, it's a part of stock trading and something that you will learn quickly and sometimes brutally. When it comes to gains and losses, stocks will take the stairs going up and then jump out the window going down. This is often referred to as a correction. Corrections can be thought of as a price correction of 10% or more. I've also seen the word bear market being thrown around, but I think it's way too early to call this a bear market. The S&P 500 is only down 2 or 3%, so it's too early to call that now. So if you've used my method of trading from previous videos, you know that it's a sell signal when the stock is going under the 9-day SMA. I also mentioned that if it fails our setup more than 2 to 3 times in the past month, it's time to look for another stock. Tesla, for example, you can see at this point it was above the 9-day SMA, failed. It almost went above again at this point and failed. So this is a kind of stock that I wouldn't want to buy in right now at this point because it's failing our setup multiple times. I've gotten questions about, if it goes under the 9-day SMA, wouldn't you want to buy that because it's a good deal? Well, if you bought that at, let's say, 830, 820, then you would have been in for a surprise when it dropped down to a low of about 620. So this is why it's important that when you hit that sell signal, you heavily consider the options and whether or not you want to actually sell or hold it. If we look at ARK, you can see for ARK, the setup was a little bit better. It's pretty consistent with the way it works, but then when it went under the SMA line here, you would have had an opportunity to sell. If you held, it would have went underneath to about a low of 127 here. You wouldn't want to buy in because again, it's under that 9-day SMA, so now is not a great time to buy in because it's not showing any consistency or stability. It could still free fall. I do find these prices to be an amazing deal, and in 6 months down the road, we'll probably be upset that we didn't lock in these prices. But the problem is I would be remiss to tell you to buy at this point with such an aggressive drop off with no signs of a real recovery. My advice is this: if you ended up buying this dip and you lost more than 10%, it might be worth it to just stomach it and hold through, but you need to define an exit point for yourself. I'm not a wizard, so I can't tell you if Tesla or ARK will jump 50 points tomorrow or be down even more by end of day. It's difficult because these plays don't follow my method, and as you can see, they're pretty far below the 9-day SMA. It can take weeks to even out and get back to a good buy-in point. However, if you're not in the market yet, wait for these stocks to stabilize and show some sign of recovery. Buying Tesla at 650 might seem like a great deal, but if it drops close to 600 again, which I feel is unlikely, but it might happen, you're gonna stress. My recommendation for the plays that are gonna be recovering are the following. And again, you want to make sure they're above the 9-day SMA. Don't just dump money in now because you could end up losing money. ARK is definitely one of my favorite ETFs, so please check that out when they start recovering. There's also a stock called CCIV, which I actually found out about because of Ziptrader, so I'll link to his channel down below. Great channel. Also big into EV chargers, so you'll notice that both Plug and Blink have had really large drop-offs. So those are important to watch out for. I was also curious what a Blink station looked like because I've never seen one before, especially since EV is going to grow so much by 2025. So I actually went out to find one, and this is footage from last night. So we're here at a Blink charging station, the only one I could find in town. And so we come a little closer. We have this tool that looks like a Ghostbusters zapping tool to suck up ghosts. And basically the idea is that, of course, you would go to the station, you can create a membership, and with the membership, you get access to using this tool. You could go ahead and plug it into your car, and then you go do something else for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, while it charges up. So that way when you get back, it's all charged and you're good to go. Also keep an eye out for Apple and Tesla. After large drops like this, they tend to have a nice recovery. So you can see at this point here, which was back in November, they had a pretty massive drop off. It was a kind of rough recovery. You can see that it was very sort of volatile, and then it evened out a bit, and then after a while it starts to just shoot up. And then basically what it'll do is it'll consolidate, it'll get smaller and smaller with these variations, until it eventually breaks out of this pattern. And as you can see, it got smaller and smaller and smaller and then just shot out and broke up into a beautiful upward trend. Remember, don't panic. We want the market to correct because the RSI will go closer to oversold and people will think they're getting a better value for the trades that they're making. We always want stocks to correct after a certain period of time so that way we get them at a better value. More importantly, the RSI will move from overbought to oversold, so people will think that they're getting a much better value for the stock that they're buying. Remember, in the past couple weeks, people are buying when the RSI is consistently overbought. It's like a big bubble that you think can pop at any time. So if you buy near the top, you're more likely to sell out because you know there's a lot of room for it to fall, versus if it already had a fall, then you know there's more room for it to go up, depending on the RSI. We will survive this, just play it smart and stick to your plan. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be making a video soon on the day-to-day life of a swing trader. Until then, keep on making great trades.